questions. Good, I'm done.
Jim, what was it like playing with Thurman Thomas for 9 seasons?
What was it like? Wow. At the beginning, as probably a lot of people know, it was a little shaky because not just from Thurman's standpoint, but for a lot of Buffalo Bill players, we all had our own egos. We all wanted to win just as bad as the other, but I think on that team where you had guys like Bruce Smith, myself, Thurman Thomas, Andre Reed, Cornelius Bennett, we had a lot of guys that wanted to be the best. We all were, pushing to be the main man, the guy that was the reason why you won. And I can honestly say the guy that really pulled us all together and pulled Thurman and myself together was our head coach, Marv Levy. He was probably one of the main reasons we were as successful as we were. And for Thurman Thomas, it was awesome because from the first day he went in, I saw from footage the style of running back he was, but I never realized how great of a pass catcher he would turn out to be. I mean, as I look back and I look at a lot of these great running backs in the history of the NFL, I can honestly put him up with guys like Walter Payton, guys that could come out of the backfield and also catch the ball. You look at some running backs like a Barry Sanders, probably one of the greatest pure runners I've ever seen. But as far as having everything, Thurman could come out of the backfield. There wasn't many linebackers that could cover him one-on-one. But I think more than anything, the reason I look at Thurman Thomas is something that not many people could see unless you played with him, and that was the way he went about the game, his mental approach. He never made many mental mistakes, if he ever made any. And for a quarterback that's not a running quarterback, you rely a lot on your offensive line. You rely a lot on your blitz pickup. And one thing I can honestly say is when number 34 was in my backfield, I never had to worry about missed assignments because Thurman not only picked his own assignments up, but he picked up a few guys that probably could have put their helmet right in the back of my numbers, but he was always there each and every week, and his mental approach was unmatched.
Questions for anybody?
Yes.
Jim, I think you've been back every year since you've been enshrined with maybe the exception of one, I can't remember. Does this ever get old to you, and what do you enjoy most about coming here for the weekend and maybe sharing some stories that aren't quite true with all the guys?
There's one I missed because of my son Hunter, who, God bless him, as a matter of fact, two years ago tomorrow my son passed away. And I even told Joe Horrigan and a few of the other guys, Dave Motz, that they're going to have to tell me to stay away in order for me to not attend this weekend. This was something, as a young kid, I grew up in the Pittsburgh area, and I was one of those guys that used to drop back and throw passes to John Stallworth and Lynn Swan and hand the football off to Franco Harris when I was a little boy. I dreamt about the National Football League. I dreamt about playing in the NFL. I never dreamt about the Pro Football Hall of Fame. It was something that was way beyond my belief, way beyond my thoughts of ever attaining a goal like that. So I really never thought about it. And all of a sudden, as your career goes on, you start putting up the numbers, you start winning on a consistent basis, and then you sort of you hear other people talk about it, but never really not knowing where you'll be. And when it really hit me was the night, and Coach Madden said it today in the Ray Nitschke luncheon, and I've stressed this to Thurman Thomas probably within the last couple months, that when you really know you're in the Hall of Fame is when you get up there on stage at the enshrinees dinner tonight and you receive your Hall of Fame jacket. That's when you realize that you've finally made it. The chills that just went through my body right now, reminiscent of that time in my life back in 2002, and really knowing that you made it is when you have that jacket on. But more for me was when I went into the Ray Nitschke luncheon. You go in there, you walk in, you look around the room, you see Bart Starr, you see Roger Staubach, Bob Greasy, Merlin Olsen, Deacon Jones, just to name a few. The Bullet Dudley. I mean, there's so many names and so many people you look around the room and you're in awe. And you're humbled by that because, yeah, you might have been the star on your football team. You had a pretty good career when you played. But these were the guys that were way before your time, the guys that you looked up to, the guys that you thought as stars, real stars, almost like a movie star, almost like a John Wayne. These are the guys you look at and you sit there and you say, wow, I'm one of them now. And it's a very humbling experience.
Deacon Jones doesn't say anything motivational in that luncheon, does he?
Deacon Jones, yeah. As a matter of fact, Deacon is I can just see this Ray Nitschke luncheon being the Nitschke Jones luncheon, a few years from now because he adds excitement to it. And but Deacon's Deacon. And he said to me right before this luncheon, he said, when's Bruce up, Bruce Smith? And he says, is it 08 or 09? And I said, I don't know, it's either 08 or 09. Why do you ask? And he just smiled. I said, oh, that's right. When he comes here, you're going to be the second greatest defensive back ever, defensive lineman in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. And I can't tell you really exactly what his response was, because there's a lot of kids watching out there right now. But we had fun. And Deacon, I can honestly say one of the things that made me feel pretty good, because everybody admires Deacon Jones. And I think everybody realizes Deacon Jones doesn't like very many quarterbacks. And he honestly said to me, he said, Jim, I don't like quarterbacks. You're the first one that I really like. So it made me feel pretty good. Again, this is an exciting weekend for all of us, and I think there's one more question.
Yes, I wanted to ask you, could you describe the leadership that Thurman Thomas had in the locker room?
Thurman's leadership was more on the field, on the sidelines. We had our vocal leaders that when things weren't going quite the way you'd want them to, or you need that little spark. We had really 4 leaders on our team. It was myself, Ken Hall, Steve Tasker, and Darryl Talley. Our vocal leaders on the field, and really they showed it once they played too, was Thurman Thomas and Bruce Smith. When it was game time, those two knew what to say and when to say it. And at times they did speak up in the locker room and air out what their problem was or what they needed to say. But Thurman led by example on the football field, that no matter when you're in a football game, you give 100%. And there's guys that do take a few plays off here and there, but Thurman Thomas wasn't one of those guys. When he needed a break, he would let you know. He'd come off the field, give Kenny Davis a chance to come in. But I can honestly say that number 34 is one of the main reasons we went to 4 consecutive Super Bowls, win or lose. And I think the more that we're removed from those games, I think the people appreciate what we were able to accomplish. And yeah, we would love to win one of those games, but you win together as a team, you lose together as a team. And I know that's an old cliche, but the thing is, we realize that more than anybody, that in order to get back, you got to stay focused, you got to play together as a team. And we were one big happy team, and we are still a very close family.